In the last section, we spoke about some big concerns we have around performance whenever we are doing a lot of work inside of our event loop. In this video, we're going to start to look at some different strategies we can use when that is unavoidable to do. So sometimes you just have to do a lot of work inside of your event loop, and there's really no getting around it. So we're going to look at two different ways that we can at least somewhat mitigate the performance impact that this has on our application. In particular, we're going to look at how we can set up Node to run inside of cluster mode. Cluster mode is used to start up multiple copies of Node that are all running your server inside them. We cannot somehow trick Node into running with multiple threads, but by starting up multiple copies, we get multiple instances of the event loop. So it vaguely somewhat works in a similar fashion as making Node kind of multi-threaded. The other thing that we're going to investigate is using worker threads to do a lot of performance work inside of our app as well. These worker threads are going to use the thread pool that is set up by libuv whenever we start up our Node application. Now, one thing I want to tell you right now, and I want to make this really clear, starting up Node in cluster mode to handle a lot of heavy-duty performance relevant calculations or whatever it might be that you're doing, the recommended approach here for improving performance of your application. This is a very well battle-tested procedure, and it's something that we are very confident will work correctly and definitely enhance performance inside of your application. Using worker threads, which I'm also going to show you in this course, is something that is way more experimental. And it's something that I'm showing you just for the sake of your knowledge and your own curiosity. So if you want to apply these techniques to enhance the performance of your application, I definitely encourage you to look at cluster mode first, and then maybe at some point in the future when we feel much more comfortable with threads and worker threads, then check this approach out. Okay, so just be aware of that. So let's take a quick pause right now. In the next video, we're going to start working on a tiny little server that we're going to use to eventually implement clustering and worker threads. So quick break, and I'll see you in a second.